guys? Hey guys, welcome to Tea with Taylor. I'm gonna give you guys some time today to join in. Joining you from my home, of course. And today we're getting into the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm gonna leave some gray area, some time and space for you guys to join in, of course, because that's the idea. But yeah, we're gonna get into the nitty gritty, and we're gonna talk, we're gonna spill, we're gonna create conversation, guys. And thanks for liking the new Facebook page. That was a work and a half, and hopefully an Instagram coming soon. I need to figure out some sort of graphic situation and, all that good stuff that comes along with it. But hopefully the Tea with Taylor Instagram will be coming soon, so check me out. Wearing the new crown today, the new black crown, because it only felt right. I was going to take it off, and then I was like, you know what? Let me just wear my new crown. And normally on 4th of July, this holiday, we like to wear red, white, and blue and remember our country, but right now that's the last thing I want to remember. So I'm wearing my black in support for Black Lives Matter, and the new crown. I also started my first video doing Tea with Taylor on Juneteenth. So it only felt right that I do this topic on the 4th of July, just to, bring it back full circle. 4th of July was a celebration that we, as a country, decided was the day they said that we were free and independent, and it just obviously wasn't the case. Juneteenth celebrates the real dates, the real time when the news actually started to spread and people actually began to feel free and act as such. So, like I said, it just felt like a full circle moment to do this topic on the 4th of July. What do you mean add you, Niall? My daughter finally joins us for the tea. Hi. And so, I want to catch up with you guys on what's going on, how everything's going, of course. You can drop a comment, or we can join you in on the video, and let me know how this movement as of late has been affecting you, how you feel about this certain topic, and just what's going on with you guys, like your current events, because my current events and your current events are totally different, and I can share them with you forever. Listen, I'm a dad now. You know this. I'll figure that out in a minute. But so I just wanted to. So I want to come and just remind you guys that Tea with Taylor is a safe space for us to communicate and to create conversation with one another. It's for everyone, of course, and it is dedicated to the LGBTQ community, LGBTQ+, and I stand by that, and I just want you all to remember that what is said here is not law. What I say you may not agree with, or you do agree with, and I am okay with that, and I'm here for that, and I support you in the way you think. So just remember, this is just coming from a place of love. This is coming from a place of what I know, and whether you agree or you don't, this is what's happening, and this is how I feel, and I thank you guys for listening to that, and I appreciate you. But let's get into it. So Black Lives Matter, and we all know a different meaning for that, and it started as just a protest or a rally, and a way for us as a people to be heard. And I'm not sure if I'm the only one in this, but I didn't know how dramatic it would be or how much of a change it would create, but I was ready for it. And like most Black Americans or like most colored people, we have been ready for change, because growing up, brown skinned or dark skinned, you learn real quick that things are not as equal as it's portrayed to be. So we've been living through this. We've been silently coexisting, and every time we have tried to make our voices heard, it's been subdued by other things, or we've been hushed. And the thing I like about this movement is that it's not going away, and we need to be persistent and consistent so that our change can be noted, and we are making history. We are that generation that is not accepting the status quo anymore, and I think it's amazing. I have to say thank you to like the people who are actually out there on the front lines protesting, the people who are creating these rallies, and people who are creating avenues for us to all be a part of this and all help. And I've taken advantage of this in my own ways, of course, by being persistent and consistent. And I'll share with you my ways I think that are the best to support as well. But then on top of that, we add the LGBTQ lives and trans lives and everything in between that is also ignored and pushed under the rug, so to speak, with our current society. And it's just all coming to a head, and now is the time that we are coming together to finally create the change that we've all craved. So I'm here for it. I am going to open up the floor for you guys to share with me your points of view and how you feel about it, because I just think it's really important to get everyone's point of view. Ooh, excuse me. And give me a second here. And there are many benefits to these kinds of things. Like I've seen a lot on social media. The first gay pride was considered a riot, and from that riot we created change, and we created the safe space and communities that we almost take for granted now as a younger generation, but because we've grown into always having it available and always having it be the way that it is. But we have to pay homage to the people who were a part of that, and the Stonewall riot, and all the things, the queer people, the transgender people that have stood up for what they believe and made it easier for us to have a stance on this matter. And a lot of people can't be on the front lines, and I get that. A lot of people want to, and there are different ways to be a part of this. Oh, hi, Calypso. It really has been an incredible response. It really, and it warms my heart, and to see Black people and brown people coming together under one cause. We are so much more powerful. We are so much stronger than we know. And it's always been something that I say behind closed doors, but now it feels almost as if it's comfortable to live in that moment more, especially in public, and that is one thing I've definitely noticed. people will have an ear now, and the biggest thing about this happening right now is the white allies are finally stepping up, and that for me shows like tremendous change as a country. Although we are still very very far from being the country we portray, this movement, white allies are beginning to step up and beginning to join in on the conversation and beginning to, let their voices be heard in the matter as opposed to silence, which was what we were used to. And we realize now that silence means that you are okay with it. And we aren't okay with that anymore. And for me, growing up the way I grew up, I did with a lot of non-brown people. I grew up in a basically white area. I know for a fact that all white people aren't evil. All white people aren't racist. And it's uncomfortable to have the conversation. And I've said this to my friends, I said this to my family, I say this all the time. It's not our problem as a brown person to teach you how to not be racist as a white person. That's something that you have to come up with. There's literature available. There are things out there that you can read. There are resources to become knowledgeable about that. And don't make it your black friend's problem, or don't ask us how to help you not be racist or help you with something that we are born with or something that we haven't created. This is a problem that was created by white people. And not by the people that we know now, but their ancestors. And when they decided to segregate us, they became ignorant, because segregation creates ignorance. When you segregate an entire culture, an entire race of people, you don't know what's going on. That's the meaning of segregation. It's like, what's going on this side of my hand? I don't know. I don't see it. So drink out of your fountain. I'll drink out of mine. And that created ignorance. And the fact that they don't know about our culture and they didn't know anything about black people created racism. Some people felt, that white people are the superior race, or black people were a stain on the country, but we did not ask to be here. We were brought here for cheap labor, which we did. We built this country, and we still don't get credit for that. I'll take Juneteenth, but we still don't get credit for building this country. And now that we're here in true fashion, like black excellence, we showed up and showed out. And for some people, that's uncomfortable, and that is the beginning of racism. And like I said, I don't think all white people are bad, but it is now time for you to speak up. And if you are truly an ally in this fight, now is the time to say so. Now is the time to show up and be there, and not just words. And like I said, I would show you the way that I also am being a part of the movement later on. She's got a little itinerary. But, also one of the things that happened with segregation, it created a classist system within our own community. And as black people, I see this very much, even to this day. As brown people, I see it. And my partner will say, and even in Dominican Republic, darker skinned people are considered less than or less pretty back in his country just because they're darker. But they're all Dominican. And I see this in this same sort of classist behavior repeat itself in black and brown culture often, and it is unfortunate. It really is. It really is something that stands out to me, because as a fair-skinned person, my blackness was always taken away from me. Every time I was asked what nationality I was or what race I was, or someone said, "Oh, you have a very cute eyes for a black guy, a very cute whatever for a black guy," it took a piece of me to be like, huh. Or like, if I would say I'm just black, someone would say, and And for me, that really bothered me because, first of all, let me be. I can't. Can I just be black? I am biracial, but also that like the prompts and the comments, on like looks and things that were like brainwashed to believe are beautiful through European culture. People will comment on, and not because they think you're a beautiful brown person or a beautiful black person, but because they think that characteristic is close to or relative to the feature in a European person that they would like. And in black culture, fair-skinned people have always been promoted in movies or out in the forefront of things, and darker-skinned people have been seen as like second best. And that is also something that really bothers me, especially in like black Hollywood. And it's very pertinent that the fair-skinned person is the pretty one in a lot of movies, a lot of films, and it's just not okay. We're all brown, we're all black, we all are beautiful, we all have our things, and it's just not okay to say that one is better than the other, because then we're doing the same thing that we are accusing white people of doing. And that's just something that I've always kept close to me. So there's that sort of classism, and then there's, because I make a little bit more coin than you, or my family made a little more coin, I'm gonna look down at you. I'm gonna stick my nose up in the air when I walk past you because, oh, you live over here, or you live over here, or I heard your family is from the ghetto, or whatever the case may be. And that also really is just not a way to live. And it's teaching white America that it's okay to say these things or do these things to us because we do it to us. But I'm gonna let you guys chime in a little bit. Let me see, because I see a lot happening over here. Oh yes, come through, Calypso. They really did, though. Calypso Phoenix Brown, she said they made black people characters they saw fit to serve white supremacy. And that's where it comes from, the fair-skinned people being promoted in these kind of films and movies and things like that, because it was less uncomfortable for white people. Girl, Niall, I am still trying to figure it out. Give me a second. So I decided to do the video from my computer today. So I'm struggling a bit to figure out certain features, like how to join in on the camera, because I usually do it on my phone. And this is not my phone, so bear with me. Okay. Well, I wish I knew how to do this, but I guess we're gonna have to figure that out in the next broadcast because I have no idea. And again, I want to say thank you, to the people who are in the front lines and doing the damn thing for us. Because, like I said, all of us can't be in the front lines. All of us can't do all the things that we want to do to support. But, do what you can. Show up for your people. And for me, that was one of the inspirations for doing Tila Taylor. Because, I do have a lot going on in life, and like everyone else, and that's not an excuse, and that's not saying that, that I don't do things, or that I don't want to, or that the lack that's not, you know, covering the lack of. But you know, there are people who just, you know, due to health reasons or whatever have you, can't be as active as they'd like. And for me, there's just a lot of different ways to make sure that you can be active. And like, just like Malcolm X, MLK, Tila Taylor is not to be compared to those great men, but they were activists, but they also created a safe space for us as brown people and black people to speak, for us to stand up, and for the people who wanted to be active. And for me, that was an inspiration to create Tila Taylor, to have this safe space that we could communicate and not feel judged and not feel afraid. And I really am enjoying having these moments with you guys. So thank you for that. But just like they did, they created that safe space and alternative options for people to talk, and alternative options for people to support and to be active. And that is one of my goals here. I do have a like 10-year plan down the line of creating a house, like an actual house, for the ballroom community, or for LGBT guys and girls who are homeless or find themselves on hard times and want to join a house. So, you know, that is one of my goals, and help younger people to be better people. And Miss Niall is definitely going to be house mom. I told her about this plan so many times. Tentatively House of Taylor, you know, in honor of Elizabeth Taylor and Miss Tiana Taylor, Epic Taylor, House of Taylor. Get into it. Snap, snap. Because I can't right now. But yeah, so, you know, creating alternative options in safe space is just something that is underlooked. And, you know, in times like these, it is very important to create a space for that, to maintain mental health, and, you know, just speak up and let your voice be heard within your community. There are different ways to donate, and I've been seeing a lot of links online. I can't, you know, direct you to anything specifically, but there are a lot of different things to donate to, and don't always just go to the first thing you see, because, like I said, again, like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and all other black activists, they weren't all a part of the NAACP because of that classist system I was speaking to you about. Some organizations, even within the black community, just have a superiority complex. And, you know, we have our issues just like every other nationality, every other culture, every other race. But that sometimes stops us from working together for a better cause. And some causes, and I'm not speaking against the NAACP, but, you know, that's how the way it was back in their time. And there are certain organizations that you might not want to be a part of. Just because they're black owned or they're a black organization does not always mean that they're a good organization. But find some good places to donate. Check out on people online. There are lots of different links. There are lots of different foundations. There are lots of different projects, even local projects, which is even better, to support the cause. Speak up. That's the best way to be a part of it. If you can't be out there rioting or protesting or rallying with your people or with, you know, your allies, then speak up. Let your voice be heard. Have a powwow. You know, create a safe space, so to speak, physically for people. Listen, Sally, if all you can do is bake a cake and bring it to a meeting, boom. If all you know how to do is sew, girl, you better sew. Somebody out there needs a quilt or something for their rally, or listen, put to work what you got. Because this cause is bigger than all of us. And like I mentioned earlier, be persistent and consistent, because persistence will win the race. Make sure you're consistent with the things that you say, the things that you do, and the people that you interact with, the people you support, and like, you know, your community will notice that, and you will create change. It feels very small, but you can make a difference. Always remember. So, thanks again, guys, for joining me. I'm definitely here for it. If you want to chat kiki about this a little bit more, and feel free to comment after the fact. Thank you guys again for watching, and if you feel that I've left something out important that you want everyone else to see, feel free to leave that on the board, on the page. Comment any topics you might want to hear me talk to you about on the Facebook page, at TWITTAY. And you guys have a great afternoon. Thanks. Beat it.